Alright, on this video, I'm going to show you how we would find alternating angles on this particular diagram. However, as you can see, this is now cluttered. So what have I done? I've introduced what? I have taken the time to draw another diagram which is cleaner and which is going to make it way easier to understand. So what happens now? We are still having line AB here being parallel to line CD. However, we want to talk about alternating angles. In this marker, this red marker, I've marked that angle 4 here, E4, is equal to angle E2. But what do I want you to see? I'm going to draw point A, E, F, and D. So this is how I draw it. A, E, F, and D, like that. So this is A, this is E, inside here this is angle E4, and this is point F, this is F2, and that is point D. These lines are still parallel. Remember, this continues and that continues as well. But now, if you check, this is what we call the N, or the letter Z. And if I come here and if you look at it, I see a what? I see a letter Z, or if I do this, some of you may see N, right? So in other words, we say that angle E4 is equal to angle F2, and our reason, we say because line AB is parallel to line what? To line CD, and since these two pair of lines are parallel, then it means that we've got alternating angles. Very important, when you are now telling us about alternating angles, do not forget to tell us the parallel lines, right? So this is the first pair of alternating angles. If you check this angle F here and angle E3, they are also what? They are also alternating angles. How do we see that? Now I'm going to draw from point B to point E, from E to point F, from F to point C, right? So there we go. B, E, F, and C. I have point F here, angle E3, point B, point E, point C, right? So we're saying that this angle here is equal to that angle. Let's not forget that these two lines are parallel to each other. So now we say angle E3, is equals to angle F. Angle E3 is equals to angle F, or we say angle E3 here is equals to angle F. And why is that? Because line AB and line CD are parallel lines. So our reason is that line AB and line CD are parallel lines. Therefore, we've got alternating angles, right? So I wanted to do it on a cleaner version, so that on a cleaner space, so that you can see it legibly. All right. Now that is done, as I promised on the other videos, I said that we're going to solve some geometric problems, right? So this is when they now mix up the different concepts which I've been teaching you throughout this series of these geometry of straight lines. So here the first question says solve for x, and what do I observe immediately? Here I see that I've got a straight line. And what am I given? I'm given 120 degrees here. And I know that, what do I mean when I say that I've got one straight line? If I do this and I ignore the other angles, I've got 120 degrees, and the other side I do not know how many degrees it is, right? But I know that on a straight line I've got what? 180 degrees. Mean to say that this 120 here and this part here, if I add them together, they give me 180 degrees. Now they said I must solve for x, right? All right, so how would I go ahead and solve for that? If you observe one thing here, this angle which I marked here and the angle which is here, these two angles are equal. Let me rotate the page so that you may see here where I've ticked, right? Let's call them the Nike angles because I've marked them. Now this angle is equal to that angle, and what would be my reason? Vertically opposite angles, what I've called previously the kissing angles. So in other words, if I say 120 degrees plus this unknown angle, I say what? Plus, let's say A, even though I'm not given, it will give me 180 degrees, right? And 120 plus A, these two are like terms. So if I say A is equals to 180 minus 120, I can find that A is equals to 160. And it's 60 degrees, not 160. Sorry. So this is 60, that is 60. Which leaves us with what? If these two were saying that they are vertically opposite angles, let's observe carefully. Check here. If you check here, from this point to this point to that point, and from this point to this point where it's red and to the blue part, we are simply saying that this entire angle, the x plus 30 degrees plus 2x and this 120 degrees, they are what? They are equal, and our reason would be vertically opposite angles. So that is how we are going to use to answer the question. We've got a concept of vertically opposite angles. So now we say 120 degrees is equals to x plus 30 degrees plus 2x, and the reason vertically opposite angles. Now I'm going to transfer this on the board because I do not want to spend this space. This space is reserved for this question. So I say 120 degrees is equals to x plus 30 degrees plus 2x. So I must solve for x here. Now observe, x plus 2x is equals to 3x. So we've got 3x plus 30 degrees is equals to 120 degrees. This 30 and 120 are like terms, so I transpose the 30 degrees, it becomes a negative 30. So I say 120 degrees minus 30 degrees is equals to 3x, right? 120 minus 30 degrees is equals to what? It is equal to 90 degrees. And then we say 90 degrees is equal to 3x. Now I divide by 3 on both sides. 3 into 3, 1. So therefore I conclude that x is equal to 90 divided by 3 is equals to 30 degrees. So we found that x is equals to 30 degrees, right? But let's verify our answer, whether we found the right answer. So here where there is x, we said that there is 30 degrees. So we are saying 30 degrees plus, here we've got 30 degrees, we say 30 degrees. And here we're given 2x, and we found that our x was 30 degrees. If I say 2 multiplied by 30 degrees, I get 60 degrees. So here I've got 30 plus 30. I have 30 degrees plus 30 degrees, and here there is 60 degrees, which is what I found here, plus 60 degrees. And if you go to your calculator, 30 plus 30 is 60, and 60 plus 60 is equals to 120 degrees. So they are equivalent. We have verified, right? So yeah, our x is equals to 30 degrees. Found it, nailed it. Then on the next question, remember, the demand or the demands of a question is that you must solve for x. So here on B, we are now given this diagram, and then we're given 140 and 4x, but they say it's solve for x. All right, what do I see? I see that 140 degrees is equal to what? To 4x. At the beginning of the video, I was explaining about alternating angles. So here I say 140 is equals to 4x, and 140 degrees is equals to 4x. My reason is what? Alternating angles. Here I'm writing alternating angles straight because I was not given any points. So the examiner knows that we did not give you the names of the points. But how can I write about alternating angles with confidence? Because if you check here, this symbol and that symbol is telling me that these two lines are parallel to each other. Now, if I've got 140 is equals to 4x, now I come, I divide by 4 here, I divide by 4 there. 4 into 4, 1, 4 into 4, 1. So therefore, I say x is equal to 14 divided by 4, that is 3, right? So because 4 times 3 is equals to 12, and we remain with what? 2, remainder 2. 20 divided by 4 is equals to 5. So therefore, x is equals to 35 degrees. And just like that, we are done. We have found our answer. Then we go to the last question, which is the last question of this series, right? Now, there is a description which has been given for this particular question. It reads as follows. In the diagram below, line PQ is parallel to line RS. This is PQ, and we are told that is parallel to RS. Now they say determine the values of letter M, Q, T, and X. So we must find M, Q, T, and X. Here we've got 4x and 2x. So we need to find X. All right. So let's start with what? With letter M here. We've been told that PQ is parallel to RS. So we can comfortably say that angle M is equals to angle R 60 degrees here, because we've got what? Parallel lines, right? So we say angle M is equal to angle R, and we say this is due to the reason line PQ is parallel to line RS, and M, so which means angle M is equal to angle R, which is equal to 60 degrees. Our reason being these are alternate angles. Angle M is equals to angle R is equals to angle 60 degrees, because here on angle 60 degrees, remember, on angle R we have 60 degrees. That's what this statement means. Angle M is equal to angle R, and since angle R is equals to 60 degrees, it means that 60 degrees, M is equals to 60 degrees. That's what this statement is telling you. And what is the reason? Alternating angles. So we have found angle M. Now we go for angle Q. Now, where is angle Q located? Angle Q is located inside a triangle. And we know that when we add these three angles of a triangle, they add up to 180 degrees. So we are saying that we've got angle what? Let me use the board rather, so that I can have enough space. Okay. Okay. What do we have? We've got 60 degrees plus Q plus 60 degrees. So we say 60 degrees plus another 60 degrees plus angle Q are equal to 180 degrees. And our reason is what? Our reason, we call it sum angles of a triangle, right? Now 60 plus 60 is 120, so we've got 120 degrees plus angle Q, which is equal to 180 degrees. We transpose the 120. Now we say angle Q is equal to 180 degrees minus 120 degrees. Therefore, our angle Q is equal to what? 60 degrees, which means here we have 60 degrees here. And what does that make this triangle? It means that if angle Q is equal to 60 degrees, it means that this triangle is an equilateral. Remember, an equilateral has got what? 3 equal sides and 3 equal angles. So, which makes it easier for us to find angle T. We have parallel lines here, PQ and RS, which means 60 is equals to T, and the reason being alternating angles. So we see T is equals to 60 degrees, and our reason is alternate angles. Why are they alternating angles? Because we were told that line PQ is parallel to line RS, right? All right, and if we check here, we found 60. Here we're at 60 degrees, here we found 60, there we found 60. These three are angles on a straight line. 60 plus 60, 120, plus another 60, 180. So it fulfills that concept of angles on a straight line. Now we need to find also for x. Here we've got 4x and 2x. Remember, we're told that PQ is parallel to what? To RS. So which means that if I turn around my book like this, here on Q till I reach S, I've got a letter U. Let me just show you. If I draw like this, and I draw like that, and I draw like that, this is where the Q is, that is where the S is. Here it's written 4x, and there it's written 2x. We are saying that when you add up these two angles, they add up to 180 degrees. Why? The reason is we've got co-interior angles. So that's what we are going to do. Now, we are going to say that 4x plus 2x is equal to 180 degrees. And we say, due to the fact that line PQ, we were given that line PQ and line RS are parallel lines. So 4x plus 2x is equal to 6x. 6x is equal to 180 degrees. We divide by 6, divided by 6, 6 into 6 is 1. So therefore we say x is equal to 180 divided by 6 is equal to 30 degrees. So therefore our x is equal to 30 degrees. Let's verify whether what we did is correct. It's written 4x, so we say 4 multiplied by 30 degrees plus 2 multiplied by 30 degrees is equal to 4 multiplied by 30, that's 120 degrees, plus 2 multiplied by 30, that is equals to 60 degrees. 120 plus 60 is equal to 180 degrees. And remember, we said here we just wrote PQ is parallel to RS. Sorry for that. I must write that due to the fact that there are co-interior angles. This is how you write it. And just like that, we are done. So hopefully I think people have understood this, right? If there is some part which you didn't understand, please feel free to comment in the comment section and I would address the issue. But other than that, please look forward to the series of what? Algebraic equations. That's the next series. That's the next videos that I'm going to upload. I would like to urge you to say that please do subscribe, consider to share, like, and comment. Till we meet again. Cheers.